Hey guys, it's Dijon here from Purpose Nation, and this is episode 5 of the Finding Your Purpose podcast. And today I have Joseph Hogue. Am I saying that correctly?
It's just fine. Thanks, Dijon.
Awesome. All right, so we have a bad habit just like messing up people's name, and he is a YouTuber with like over 500,000 subscribers, and he talks about money and finances. And Joseph, could you mind like just like talk a little bit more about like what you do, like a nice little like introduction about yourself?
Sure, sure. Well, thanks for having me. Talking to you earlier before the podcast, it's amazing your story as well, and really like to get that perspective because I think that's really what drew me into YouTube. Come from an equity analyst background. After joining the Marine Corps, I went into equity analysis. Really, fell in love with that idea of making your money work for you, work for you. Making your money grow by itself. So got into stock analysis, investment analysis, things like that. Worked for venture capital as well as private wealth management, and there came a point after years of doing that I realized these are not really the kind of people that I relate to or I want to work with. You're working in venture capital, private wealth management, things like that. You're only working with those accredited investors, the million net worth plus kind of people. And it's really not where I come from, right? So I wanted to get back to kind of Main Street investors, back to talking to regular people. So I started the blogs in 2014, transitioned that into YouTube in 2017, and it's just been amazing. The growth has been exponential. It's been great getting that face-to-face connection that you get with people on YouTube, and really feeling that personal relationship you get with people and growing a community. So it's great. It's really what I live for, to reach out and help people change their lives.
I love it, and I love how you said like just like making your money work for you. Like we all heard it like growing up, but like once you actually like especially like earn like your first like couple $1,000s online, almost like the equivalent of like a paycheck or more. It's just
Sure.
like a complete like just mindset change overnight.
It
It's just
is.
absolutely insane.
It
So
is. They say the first million is the hardest, but I think it's the first hundred, right?
oh
In
yeah.
anything you do, whether it's making your first hundred in investing, whether it's making it through a side hustle or work from home online or something, once you get that validation that you can make money doing this, doing something like that, then that's all the motivation you need to really supercharge your income.
Absolutely, yep. And that mindset also applies towards other things, it's just like getting over that little I'm not sure probation period's the right word to
Yeah,
say, kind of like that little but once you get over it, you're like, oh, it's not that bad, and just do it over and over again. So it's gonna be a good episode. Yeah. So
definitely.
yeah, we got a lot to talk about. But before we hop into it, one thing I like asking like all my guests is like just like a little bit more like about like where they grew up, what do you do as far as like hobbies? Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Sure, sure. Well, you grew up in Des Moines, Iowa, so not necessarily farm and country, but not the big city either. Kind of that in between. Joined the Marine Corps, went out of high school, and I guess growing up, typical reading. Liked playing sports with my friends, and really, kind of got into the money, the idea of money pretty often, pretty early, right? Wouldn't say I grew up on the wrong side of the tracks, but maybe on the tracks themselves, right? My parents filed for bankruptcy twice before I was the age of 14, so we always had those worries and those doubts and fears about money, and I think that colored my life and my perspective as far as what it means to be without, what it means to really have those needs. And I think that's why I think it is so important to have your money working for you. As you get older and as you start earning, because if it's not working for you, then I mean nobody else is going to be working for you. So you might as well have your money
Absolutely.
working for you.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. And just to touch back up on you being in the Marine Corps, because my mom, she was in the Air Force, so
Okay.
moved around a lot, kind of got a little bit into like military, just like the whole just like being part of like just like growing in military. So was that like out of like choice? Like so after like you graduated high school, was that like you didn't know what to do, so you went down that path, or you already like could you like talk a little bit more about that?
Sure, sure. Well, actually, out of high school, we had a junior ROTC program in high school, and had a lot of fun in that. I actually graduated as the commander of that little unit there in high school. Loved it. Went to college to into the officer corps at first, and decided it just really wasn't for me. And again, I think it goes back to that idea of I really don't relate to the higher echelon, the management type people, and the high net worth kind of people. I like being down there, being there with the grunts, and with the regular people. And so actually dropped out of college the first time around, and went, enlisted into the Marine Corps. Once I got out, I went back to college, of course, and finished my degree, and started my career. But I think it was so pivotal to get that experience, in the enlistment, get that discipline that I needed, that I was really lacking before.
Hmm. Yeah, that's one thing I love about just like the military in general. I never went through the mil. I'm 21 years old. I haven't been on that route, but I've grew up doing Boy Scouts. I'm actually an Eagle Scout, so
Okay,
that kind of gave me like
sure,
discipline, kind of like the structure as far as like getting things done, and just like merit badges, values, sticking to those values and everything. So yeah, but
absolutely.
probably not as structured as the the Marine Corps. Man, but there are some hard days at scout camp, but yeah, probably not as structured Marine Corps. So so you graduate college, so like when it comes to like, I guess like creating like side streams of incomes for you, what made you look to like making money online?
Sure, sure. Well, like I said, I wanted to really transition the business into my own online businesses, and really be able to reach a different community. The thing is, after researching, okay, how much do bloggers make? How much do YouTubers make? And how much do people make online? It is not much. In fact, it can be zero for many months. And so I knew I needed that change of income, that stability in income, to be able to support myself, support my family at the time. And so I kind of transitioned slowly from an equity analyst career, which pays very well. So
Mhm.
I knew I would have to make up quite a bit of income, into freelancing, where basically I was just performing freelance equity analysis for large banks, for other analysts, things like that. That really helped to bridge the gap, I think, so I could do that while I was building my own assets, the blogs, the YouTube channel, things like that, the books. And so, from there, I just kind of I learned what are the different income streams that work, what are the ones that work fastest, and what are the ones that work that make the most money, right? And I think it's a hugely important distinction, because in blogging, in online, influencers, content, that kind of thing, there are things that can work really quickly. Things like self-publishing, right? You can write up a 150, 200-page book within a few months, have it published on the world's largest e-commerce site, right? Billions of people go to Amazon every day to find books, what to read, and things like that. So you can have a product on there within 2 or 3 months, or making money. And I've made all the way up to $1,000, $3,000 a month through books on Amazon. And so that's one of the more immediate things you can do to make money online. Whereas other things like blogging, like a YouTube channel, it's going to potentially take 5, 6, 7 months or more, even to start monetizing sometimes, but to really start bringing in that monthly paycheck that's going to pay the bills. So you really need to understand, what are the income sources that are useful in this line of work, which ones work quickest, which ones can you start immediately to start that paycheck going, while you build those other sources.
Mhm. I love it. It sounds like you did lots of it's almost like you like had your own little lab. You're like testing out like just like different ideas, and like you got like the this group worked out, this group here was
Sure, sure.
like
It was
okay,
it was years of research. It was,
oh
and
yeah, I can
you know, yeah,
imagine.
yeah,
And
and
can you
and from
tell?
there you just build on those different income streams, right?
Yeah. And could you tell us a little bit more about I guess like that process of like trial and error, as far as like just like creating like these early income streams, as far as like including the ones that flop, both the ones
Mhm.
that like
Sure.
do well and flop. Yeah.
Sure. Well, I think what's really important is sometimes finding a group of people that are doing what you're doing and really listening to them. One of the best things I did was, and this is for the kind of the financial sector or influencers out there. You can go to a conference called FinCon. It's every year in September. A great group of people that bloggers, YouTubers, podcasters that kind of share their knowledge. And there's conferences and there's groups for any kind of space, any kind of topic or theme. And really, it's important just to really listen to what they've done in the past and what's worked for them, because there's no sense in reinventing the wheel, right? You can
Yeah.
you can get all their experience, all their knowledge within a matter of days, rather than spending the years to do it yourself individually. But from there, yeah, you do have to put in some hours. Right. Fortunately, I guess coming from that venture capital equity analysis background, where if you and we had an old saying in venture capital: if you can't drag your butt out of bed to come into work Saturday, don't bother coming into work Sunday. Right. The
Yeah.
weekend is just another two work days until Monday. Right. So, a lot of times before a deal was going through, I mean, we would be working 90, 100 hours, 100 plus hours a week. So I was used to really putting in those hours and really researching. And I think it's not something that, if you're just getting started, that you have to do. You just have to understand, if you're not willing to put in the hours and put in the work and the research to learn how to be successful, then you're going to kind of, extend that learning curve and that training period that you're going to have to go through. Right. So whether you want to work 40, 50 hours a week, or whether you're willing to put in 100 hours a week, you're just gonna, if you're only willing to do 40 hours a week, you're just gonna have to do it twice as long,
Mhm.
and to really learn.
I love how you talk about that's like everyone talks about like the glorious side of making money online, like oh, I'm making $10,000 a month off of my Shopify store or whatever, but they don't talk about like the boring work that goes into it to get to that point.
The work and
And
the grind sometimes, right? It's
oh
a
yeah.
it's a passion, and I love doing it. But anything you do, 40, 50 hours a week plus, or whatever, it is going to be a job occasionally. So you've got to really understand that, yeah, sometimes it's not going to be jumping out of bed every single morning and just loving what you do. Sometimes it is a job, and you really have to just grind through it and
Yep.
set those points when you're working. But more often than not, I mean, I come from plenty of years working in the office, and I know how much of a pain it can be when you really don't like your job. It's amazing, when you do find something that you enjoy doing, you find your purpose in that job, and what kind of a difference that change makes in your motivation and your outlook and just your life itself.
Even the way like, and like even the way like once you find that purpose and working on it, and especially if you're like helping other people too and they're seeing results as well, even the way how you walk and talk, you can just like
Oh,
people can
absolutely.
just tell,
Yeah.
like sunshine, like sunlight, like oozing out of your pores.
Like angels singing on high, right?
I'm saying, yeah, it's amazing. So curious, because like for me, I'm a pretty good self learner too. Like I went through my whole book reading stage. I'm always like I don't watch TV shows or movies. I'm like during my free time, like I'm always like learning like a new form of marketing or something. Like I just like that. But for me, like my weakness was sales, so I had to go out and I had to like buy like a sales like get a mentor for sales to kind of help me with that. Was there like a did you ever have to go out during like your like researching phase to really like seek paid help as far as like acquiring a specific skill or learning about something in particular?
Sure. Well, I think so as far as paid consulting and things like that, I guess I did take some courses online, as far as like Google Ads. Learned how to do those. I learned how to basically using the camera and things like that, because I've never been really technical with electronic equipment, anything like that. So I did have to learn how to use a camera, and how
Yeah.
to edit, things like that. I would say, for the most part, though, if you're considering, especially some of those higher price courses, you don't need them. You can find anything and everything online for free, through YouTube videos, through an internet search. It might not be quite as laid out, quite as easily and well defined as a structured course, but you can find it. So what I would say is, if you are going to pay for a course, go to maybe a lower price platform, maybe like Udemy, which has courses for 15, $20. Look around there first, and from there you can go to once you know what it is you're looking for to learn, and exactly what you don't know, because that's really the problem with for most people is they don't know what they don't know.
Mhm.
So they really have to know, they have to learn first, okay, what do they need to study and what do they not know. So once you have kind of the basics of the idea and know what you need to study a little bit more, then you can go get a cheap 15 $10 $15 ebook off of Amazon, off of Kindle. Some of those cheaper ideas, not necessarily the $100 or $300 courses that you see people advertising so often.
Mhm. That's some pretty good advice as far as like just like when you're starting out, because like even for me, like after my channel got demonetized, it was like when I was in high school, like I had to go find out like different, like I could find new ways to make money online. I didn't know like exactly what I wanted, and it was kind of, yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I spent $500 on social media marketing course, and yeah, I didn't get too much out of that right there. Um, but yeah, that's some pretty good advice as far as like just like going out there and like going through like free resources and learning that way. It'll save you like a lot. Um, just like a lot of it's like a lot of money and
Yeah,
time too.
yeah, and I think it's important just to set that habit really of searching and researching, because yeah, anybody can go online and buy a $500 $1,000 course on how to use a camera, right? And they can have somebody force feed them all the information they need in that course, but does that really help you? You might learn something about using a camera. More often than not, though, a lot of those courses you maybe look through half of them and you don't even finish them. Um, but the help from being able to learn how to search and research on your own is goes way beyond that information you learn. You're going to learn the same amount of information, but you're also going to learn how to search for your answers on the internet, how to do that research, and how to put in the time to actually learn and find out what you need to know. Which of course is an invaluable task or invaluable trait that you just can't even pay for that.
Hmm. So, what made you like look into like YouTube specifically, like doubling down on that to really to
Sure,
really like grow your
sure.
audience online?
Yeah, well, it was almost out of accident, really. I started the blogs in 2014, and they were going very well. They were paying the bills. They were growing. And 2015, I started a YouTube channel, basically just as a way to host videos, video summaries that I would then put on the blogs, right? And so it was 2 3 minute summaries of a blog post. I would just record it out and then host it on YouTube and put it on the blog, really just for the blog's sake, to keep time on page and some of those other good Google factors that you want on a blog.
Yeah.
Never really did anything. I had all of maybe 12 videos, I think, on that YouTube channel from 2015 to 2017.
Mhm.
End of 2017, just one day, I noticed
Yeah.
a ginormous spike in traffic to the blogs. I mean, we're talking like tens of thousands of views. And what had
Wow.
happened is a YouTuber had mentioned one of my articles. She mentioned my article, kind of talked through it, and then provided a link in the description.
Mhm.
And that was that huge boost of traffic. And so I looked at that and I started thinking, maybe this YouTube is actually a thing, right?
Yeah.
Of course, 2017, I was missed the boat entirely, for as usual. But so 2017, I started creating started creating videos for YouTube specifically to build that YouTube channel. And yeah, the growth has just been exponential. It was to 33 monetized after about 4 months, so to like thousand subscribers after 4 months, 33,000 subscribers that first year, and it's just grown from there. Almost 5 years later now, 565,000 subscribers, and just love it. Love that face to face feel you get.
Yeah. That's amazing. I love the story about how you becoming a YouTuber wasn't like your first intention. You're kind of using it as a way to like host your videos. That's the same way how I got into YouTube as well.
Okay.
I was actually homeschooled. Yeah. And I played this one game just like like just all day long because I finished my work like at 9 a.m. in the morning. And I knew this game like so much, I'd go and create like videos of like me doing like different things. Because I was afraid I was gonna forget it one day. And then yeah, I check up on my channel like 6 months later after like uploading my whole database online. I forgot the videos were public, and yeah, like had 1,000 subscribers. One video had
Wow.
like 10,000 views, and that kind of like piqued my interest into YouTube. So it's crazy how you kind of got into YouTube by accident, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's amazing. You look at some of the, the OG YouTubers, right? The
yeah.
YouTubers that were there in 2010, 2012, a lot of the gaming channels, and just amazing how the growth that took off from there. And yeah, a lot of those channels they grew to hundreds of millions of views every month, millions of subscribers, and it's a really interesting to follow kind of the development of YouTube and where which channels have been popular, which channels have kind of died off the popularity and that kind of thing. And I think it's easy for people to say, YouTube is dead, or especially with the competition from TikTok and things like that. When I started blogging, they were saying blogging was dead, right? By the time I started YouTube in 2017, they were saying YouTube was dead. And here I am, 5 years later. In total revenue over the 5 years is well over 1.3 million. And it's just a lesson in that, never believe the naysayers, the people that want to want you to stay in place. There was always an opportunity if you could make it work.
So we kind of spoke about this before we hit the record, but like um I think I was telling you that like after my channel got demonetized, I was getting like 3 million views a month, and then
Wow,
after
that's amazing. That is a really
and
amazing.
from that, like I wasn't like, after I was demonetized, I didn't know how to really like like push that traffic towards like a course, book, or whatever. So I ended up making like no like no money from that traffic for a little bit. And like just looking at your website and everything, looks like you have a really good, just like a really nice back end. I can imagine like email lists, like weekly
Mhm.
emails going on, like your books, like you have like different like just like could you like give us like a little like glimpse behind like your whole like back end as far as like, what you offers
Sure, sure.
as far as like
Well, and I,
someone.
yeah, I think it's a great story in really that need to to build your business away from necessarily just one platform or just one income source, right? Because anytime you're basically renting space on someone else's platform or in someone else's business, then they can raise the rent, or they can quit that altogether, right? So yeah, I've built through. I've got about five income sources right now, different ways to reach people. For business, it's always been about either product or distribution, right? You either have your own product that you can sell, and you have to look for ways to get it to people, or you have those ways to get it to people, and you can partner with people with products. Well, the great thing about being online and this new era of entrepreneurship and things is you can have both so easily. You can have your own products, whether that's courses or printables, just downloads, checklists, easy checklists that you can put together for people. A lot of things that you can put together as to create a product, and then you can have the distribution as well, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on a blog, or other social media sites, things like that. So you can really be the entire supply chain yourself, with the product and distribution. I've got an email list of 20,000 people. Email goes out every Sunday night, kind of a market update kind of idea. Through that, I can sell affiliate offers. I can sell my own products. I can drive people back to YouTube to get more views and really, drive the momentum on that. I've also got a private Facebook group that is just under 14,000 people, and the conversations get pretty heavy on that, and kind of keeps that conversation going, and keeps engagement there. Through there, obviously, I can send people back to YouTube, and keep that momentum going as well. So it's it's really kind of trying to bring that old business world, and some of those old business ideas into that new era. I think one of the you know as great as the opportunity is right now for people to just start a YouTube channel and start making money on YouTube. I think what's really missing for a lot of people is just kind of that old experience of how a business runs and how to run a business, all the way from marketing to branding and product development, and a lot of those ideas, that a lot of people aren't getting. So it's easy enough sometimes to just kind of fall into success online as a influencer, as a social media, influencer or content producer, but to really last, to last longer and to really make more money, you really have to understand, how some of those old business concepts tie into the new world.
And one concept I really like that you mentioned was distribution, because I think as time goes on, it's getting easier to go make a course, ebook. We got like AI, all these automation tools. We got
Sure.
like no code, low code, where you can like make your own softwares, white label softwares. There's so many ways, like everything's getting like easier and easier to the point where you can make money with like pretty much selling anything online.
Sure.
The hardest part is really that distribution, like building that audience, building up that trust, and then just like monetizing that audience with like that, with like whatever software ebook you're building on. And you kind of tap into it as far as like really building that audience and distributing it. But like, how was like having your audience now makes things a lot easier, and how do you like build and maintain that trust to where when you do like recommend something, whether it be like maybe like I don't know, like affiliate link, or maybe like one of your own like your own books, or like mentoring, or like whatever you offer, how are you able to build that trust to where
Sure.
people are like, I'll take it, it's like a no-brainer.
Sure. Well, I think it really does start with how you build your community and how you build, that online influence or that online persona, right? I think it starts with, being, and a lot of these are kind of buzzwords, right? That everybody says, oh, be authentic, be yourself, right? And it sounds cheesy, it sounds corny, it sounds like a cliche, but there is a truth to it, right? If you think about, who you are, what you believe in, that kind of thing, and then really speak to that and really try to attract the people that is going to resonate with, that are going to be able to relate to that. It's like you've got a kind of a mind connection with those people because they relate to you so well, because that is exactly who they are. Those are the beliefs and values that they share with you. So you're going to have that kind of that built-in trust, right? Because you're just like two friends sitting around the coffee table, right? Even if you're separated by an internet connection. So it really goes back to that, and really being able to show that, online. I think one of the things that a lot of people miss with YouTube or being online is really that idea of being able to show those beliefs and those values, and it's something called branding, right? So you'll notice, I mean, in my background, I have things like, my Marine Corps insignia, my rank, my shadow box there. I've got, things like the old Coca-Cola propaganda there, it's that, some books, and it's all to the point of really kind of trying to show people without having to tell them what are some of my beliefs and my core values, and maybe, if that's something that they can relate to, then maybe they would like my channel and they would like to be a part of that community. Right. So I think, between what you wear, what you say, some of the things you say, your slogans you use, and things you say repeatedly, you really start to build a community around that. And I think that's really the most important thing. Actually, just finished a speech today that I'm going to give here in September at that conference that I was talking about, on how to make more money on YouTube and things like that. So I surveyed like 14 other YouTubers. How are they making money? Where are they making money? Things like that, and some really interesting ideas. And one of the things I found was that even some of the very small channels are making a lot of money because they have that strength in their community, right? Channels with maybe just 6,000. One of these channels had 6,000 subscribers. He's making $20,000 a month through his memberships, through selling memberships, and it's because he does connect so strongly and so closely with those 6,000 subscribers, and with the other people on his email list and things like that, they're willing to pay $25 a month or $50 a month for a membership to his Discord group or something like that. So just don't think you need millions of subscribers or millions of views a month to really make money. It's all about that connection you get with just a group of people, with a very small group of people can do very well.
Yep, and I actually learned that earlier this year. Like I always knew about that concept, but it wasn't until I came across people that had like literally like 500, 1,000 subscribers, making a couple $1,000s a month just by building that connection with their
Yeah,
audience, and then like also having like a well like planned out like back end as far as like taking them off of YouTube and then upsell them towards like the different memberships and programs and all that stuff right there.
sure.
But
Sure. For a lot of that, it kind of goes into that idea of learning marketing, learning how marketing works. So through your videos, you can sell into and not necessarily sell, but offer a free webinar, right? Which is basically just kind of maybe a monthly video, private video that you do, answering questions, maybe just something a little bit extra to give people, right? And then within that video, then you sell maybe a course, or you sell your free printables, your checklist, things like that. It's just creating that kind of a funnel is so much easier than just through a video asking people to sign up for something, or selling through the video, right? Because people are so used to just going to YouTube and not paying anything, right? Everything on YouTube is free, right? So people just aren't used to being sold on YouTube. That's why the ad rates are so low. That's why click-through rates on YouTube are so low, because people aren't used to being sold anything. Everything should be free. So you really need to warm them up to the idea. You really need to give them more information, give them more in that, maybe the free webinar or a free handout, something like that. Anything to get them on an email list, and to start building that connection with them, and that engagement. And once you do that, then you can start kind of talking up the value of a course or a checklist, or really a membership, anything.
And one of the ways to make it easier to kind of like I guess like I don't want to say push people to those offers, kind of like offering to them if they feel like it's the right decision, but like one thing that makes it a lot easier to kind of like complete that bridge is having like channel culture. You hear like company culture, just kind of like that's it's kind of like oh, I can't think of think of anything right on the spot, but like something unique. All right, here go one. You probably know this guy. He's a cryptocurrency channel. I think I watched him like a few years ago, actually back in 17, 18, when the whole crypto market went up during
Sure.
that run. I think his name was Steve of Crypto Crew University. Have you heard of him
Mm-mm.
before? But I know in all of his videos he's kind of like wearing like a pink suit. He's always smiling. He's like, "Hello,
Sure.
welcome to my crypto crew, like university." And he's like, and like in all of his videos, he's like, "If you want to know what's gonna happen to the right, look to the left." Just like small things like that, to where like he's able to build like a community around it, almost like a little meme within this community, and
Yep.
that kind of brings everyone together. And more
Yep.
importantly, kind of like do you have something like that
Sure.
on
Well,
your channel?
a great book to read. It's called Branding, or called Primal Branding, right? It's by Patrick Hanlon, I think. And he really goes over kind of 5 key elements of that brand, right? And one of those is, like you were telling, Crypto Crew, or for myself, I got the Bow Tie Nation, right? Because I always wear a bow
Very
tie
good.
in the videos. So it's one of those things, of those rituals that you do, naming your group, your crew, right? And really kind of brings them together around what's that core message, and that core set of beliefs and values and things like that, right? So it really, I mean, that's really, I think, the number one thing you need to do if you're going to be creating a YouTube channel or an online business, is to create a community around it, because until you do that, nobody's going to pay for anything. There's so much free online, that there's no need to pay, unless they're basically supporting that community that they feel a part of.
And building that community, especially the level like that we were talking about, kind of where it was like um no, no, I don't want to use that word, kind of to where just like small things are kind of like, it's you have like small things that's kind of like a meme within the community. um it's also kind of hard to force it to. It just kind of happens.
Sure.
Like maybe someone, like maybe like in one of your videos, like maybe you made a mistake and everyone wanted to kind of like make a joke about it, and then like you kind of like you just keep it going just because like like it brings everyone together, stuff like that. It's really hard to kind of force it. you gotta
Sure.
like let it just kind of happen,
Yeah, it's
but
something that has to
yeah.
develop over time, and you know, fortunately, you've when you're doing something like this, you've got time, right? You don't go from 0 to 1 million subscribers in a month, right?
Mhm.
It's something that builds over time, and you've got to develop it, and through that time, you develop your message, you develop your speaking skills, right, and things like that, and it's really something that just kind of evolves over time.
Mhm. I love it. So, as far as like your different streams of income online, could you like break those down for me?
Sure, sure. Well, so I do five different income streams. So one is sponsorships. So basically, companies paying you to you know do a 45-second spot on their about their product. Sometimes it's a little bit more integrated, where you'll talk about you know the services or something on their platform throughout the video. But there's sponsorships, right? And that's generally about probably about a third of my income. I'll average right around 10 to 15,000 a month through that through different sponsorships. Affiliates is basically partnering with another company to talk about their product, and then if somebody clicks on your link, a special link that you get, then you get and makes a purchase. You know, if somebody clicks through and purchases, then you get like a commission off of that, right? So that's affiliate marketing, and that's
And is
probably
that recurring or one time? Sorry to interrupt.
no, it's both. Sometimes it's really depends on the contract and the you know the company. Very few, I'd say probably maybe 1 in 10 do kind of a recurring thing where they'll have you know if it's a monthly membership that people sign up for or an annual membership, things like that. Then you can get recurring, and those can be great because yeah, you just kind of build a snowball effect on your income.
Yep.
For the most part, they are one time things, one time payments though. And that's you know that's right around 10,000 a month currently. There's the YouTube ads, which are surprisingly profitable. Those ads that show on you know
Oh yeah,
before a
yeah,
video
your
and
CPM
during
should be
and all
up there.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, for finance, for some topics, it's just higher than others. Things
Oh.
like finance, insurance, credit cards, cryptocurrency, the ad rates that companies pay Google and YouTube to show their ads are very much higher. You know, the ad rates for something like vlogs, so family vlogs, gaming a little bit lower, car channels a little bit lower, but they can still be very profitable because you know you're reaching so many more people with a gaming channel. You could reach you know easily millions of people a month,
Oh yeah.
and so you can still you can make it up really in quantity, right? So that's right around $10,000 to $12,000 a month. The and then I've got self-published books. That's around $1,000 a month because I haven't done anything on those for quite a while. But again, those were some of the best ones for when I was just starting out and trying to build that income. Those are the fastest to grow and can really you know bridge that gap, right?
Mhm.
So that then I've got some courses and downloads as well. That's about another $3,000 to $5,000 a month from those. So it's really kind of that going back to that idea of you know finding which ones work quickly. You know which is the self publishing, the you know the sponsorships can do really well. I haven't done membership yet, but again that's one of the best ones for those smaller channels for smaller communities because you know you can sell somebody into $100 annual or even monthly $100 monthly membership sometimes if you've got that very strong tight knit community. Um, and so that's about five. So this year I'm averaging. So first 6 months of the year, I'm averaging 36 to 38,000 a month. It's actually down quite a bit from last year. You know, last year everyone was investing, everyone was making money
Oh yeah,
through
yeah.
stocks. So of course, traffic was quite a bit higher last year, and it was right around 46,000 a month last year. Is what the business made. So it is down a little bit this year, and that's just one of the things you have to accept and be ready for in
Mhm.
this kind of a business is that you know it is gonna ebb and flow and fluctuate your monthly and even annual income.
Yep, that's one thing I learned. Yep, when YouTube cut my AdSense. Yep,
Absolutely,
I
yeah,
learned that the hard way. Yep. So I now have like sure I got the thing that brings in like all the traffic, but just like taking that and just like distributing it so that we're able to also building on my email list just to really um if something were to fall, I got five other things holding me up. I'm not like I'm
absolutely.
scrambling. Yep. Yep, able to go to bed at peace. But good for you. Yeah, thank you for that breakdown. Um, so you're very well qualified, both professionally and also like online and results wise, as far as like talking about finance. Throughout your videos, have like what like success stories have you had, and what impact has it had on you, just as far as like fulfillment wise?
Sure. Well, again, it's really that idea of being able to get back to really who I can relate, the people I can relate to, and it turns out the people that relate to me the best, regular Main Street investors. There's a lot of that kind of that intrinsic reward that you get from that, where you're really building that community of people that you care about and that you can relate to. So that's one thing. There's also the reward that you are changing people's lives. I actually flew out to Kentucky last year to Owensboro, Kentucky, to Brian and Crystal Cecil. Did a whole video series with them, 5 videos on their journey, because they had started watching the channel really almost back there in 2017 to 2018, and started kind of putting together side hustles, passive income, stock investing, and to really see how it affected their lives, how it changed their lives from living paycheck to paycheck on the verge of bankruptcy, really to being able to have that side income growing, as well as their own jobs, to be able to invest that money without kind of that fear of losing their hard-earned money. So yeah, you'll get stories about this and feedback like this, on your channel and from your community, and it's just a great feeling to know that you've been able to help someone like that.
Mhm. And also gives you the motivation to really just go out there and crank out another video, because like
Yeah,
we do got those days where like it's like dang, like like maybe I should stay in bed today. Yeah, but good stuff. I like it. And then you got YouTube, your blog. Do you have like any other like social medias you post to, or is it just like mainly
sure.
YouTube?
Well, it's we've got the Facebook group. The private Facebook group is about 14,000 people. YouTube, of course, the email list that goes out every Sunday night. The blog that reaches about 20-30,000 people a month. That's really what I keep to. I don't. I've got all the social media accounts. I've got Instagram that I don't do a whole lot with. I've just started getting on TikTok because that's really the trend now, and one of the important things with this type of business is you really do need to stay on those trends, and really experiment with different trends coming up, different platforms and things like that, because YouTube might not be around in 10 years. It might be a shell of what it is right now in 10 years. You have got to constantly be adapting, changing your message, and adapt to the different trends that when they come up.
Mhm. And those trends, it's really important, because like tech, it like 5 years ago, the whole landscape as far as like um not only making money online, but just like social media in general, it was different. What was it? I think was it Vine around? There was just like different
Mine, sure,
platforms.
sure,
Yeah.
yep,
And now
yeah.
we have like TikTok and
Yeah,
shorts.
going back to talking earlier about really the evolution of the development of YouTube and the channels that are working and things like that. I mean, it's just really interesting to me that some of the channels that you really follow them, that have just blown up. I mean, huge channels, and then now they get, whereas once that maybe they were getting 100 million views a month, and now they're getting maybe a million, maybe 5 million. And it's a lot of the gaming channels that maybe didn't adapt to the new game coming out, and really just saw the drop off in when that game that they were really known for dropped off, and really faded. Um, so it's really interesting to watch and understand kind of that life cycle of a channel and of a business model, and really understand how you do need to kind of adapt and always be experimenting, always be changing up things, and see what works best.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's the whole point of just like me running this podcast, and also my seriousentrepreneur.com, is really it's easier to build a roof when there's sunshine there. Yep. So just
Absolutely.
showcasing different ways people can like build an audience, and also leverage it to not only build up different streams of income, but also like yesterday I was talking to this one doctor. She has like 1 million subscribers, and she uses like her audience to really accelerate her career. So like as far as like networking other professionals, and just like really like making more money through that way. So like there's just so many ways to be proactive to where when that does so to where when it does rain, you're not too down bad, so
Yeah.
yeah, I love
Yeah,
it.
essentially, yeah, I like that analogy. You're really, building your roof when the sun's shining, because it's so true. Whatever business model you're using, whatever business you're in, or wherever you're at, it will rain eventually.
Oh
And
yeah, yep.
whether you get wet and and cold, or you stay high and dry and doing well, depends on, did you already build that roof?
Mhm. And on the flip side of that, for people like getting started as far as like building their passive income, uh, there's not gonna be money coming in for maybe like a few
Sure,
months, maybe a few years, depending on your effort, But like
sure.
eventually, like I don't want to say bad luck, but like hard times to turn into good times. You just gotta like stick it out, show up every day, and grind it out. And you, Joseph, it looks like you definitely went through that path. It's
Yep.
certainly paid off. So yeah, I love it. So to wrap things up, do you have like any exciting plans for the future, just as far as like your brand as a whole? Is there anything like any new books, anything you looking
Sure. I mean, just really growing the community on YouTube there, reaching people in different ways. I'd really like to kind of try more of a little bit more of a vlog format in the videos, really. So going back to that idea of experimenting, seeing what works. Most of my videos are very much presentation style. I'm sitting here at the desk and talking to the camera. I'd like to, incorporate a little, maybe some other formats in that. And I think that's important to really give people different formats, whether it's, around town, vlog style kind of thing. Still sharing the same information, but just sharing it in a little bit different idea, a different way. I think is really important to keep that dynamism in your in your videos.
I saw who it was it Alex Ramirez? He said that maintenance is a myth. You always need to be improving, trying out new things for your
That's smart.
yep. So I love how you're just like trying out new things, even if it like flops at your scale,
Yeah.
at least you tried
Oh
it,
yeah.
like, all right, that
Yeah.
format
Well,
didn't
you
work.
look at the best tech companies. The best tech companies, the ones that perform the best, are the ones that spend billions of dollars in research and development, right? What made Intel really the behemoth, the leader, the number one leader in semiconductors all those years ago, was it would spend 20 or 30% of its sales back on research development, learning, developing those new chips and researching and things like that. And what really destroyed them, why Intel has done nothing over the past 10 years, is because they stopped doing that. They really stopped spending on that research and development, and lost that competitive advantage. And I think it's a warning, it's a story that anyone can use, even in a small business, all right, an entrepreneurship kind of, or online business. You may not be spending the billions of dollars in research and development, but you are still spending your time. You're still spending, your time, researching new trends, figuring out what works, figuring out what doesn't work, and really, growing your channel through that experimentation. And if you don't do that, you may do well briefly. You may get lucky and do really well briefly, but it won't last. It will not last.
Mm-hmm. Yep, because like when you stop, everything's all right in the moment, but life keeps moving on, Mother
Hmm.
Nature,
Yep. Yep.
like things keep moving on, like the whole life death cycle keeps going on, and then like before you know it, you're left behind, So I think that's really important, especially like in the online space, especially as like a content creator specifically.
Sure.
Um, two more questions for you. So
Sure.
if you could do it all over again, what would you do differently?
I would start sooner. Like I said, I didn't start YouTube until 2017, which, I look at some of the channels that were around 2012, 2013, and obviously millions and tens of millions of subscribers, and think, man, I could be right there already. So it's something that you do whenever you start. You always wish you had started sooner. So I don't think, don't necessarily get hung up on that, but get started. If you're thinking about doing something like this, if you're thinking about starting your own business, get started. Even if it's just 5 hours a week, experimenting, kind of building it slowly, just get started. Get it going.
Done is better than perfect.
Yep, absolutely.
That's one thing I always tell myself whenever I feel like just like where I'm like, oh, like maybe I'll try it in like a month or so. I'll just be like, no, let me just
Um,
head 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 go head first into it. And then my last question for you, I like asking all my guests this question, but like, if you could do one thing every day for the rest of your life, what would it be that
Mm.
makes you happy?
One, if I could do one thing that
That makes you happy.
that makes me happy. Yeah, well, okay. If it didn't get old, I think it would get old really quick. But this is, I guess, kind of a weird thing about me that well, really only people in the community in my YouTube community know. But every Friday night, I like to I'll sit down with a glass of Jack on the Rocks and watch old
Mhm.
episodes of Twilight Zone. Right. So, and the really old episodes, right, from the 60s.
Yeah.
Only 156 episodes of them. So, if I watch 2 or 3 episodes a week, then they don't get too old too quickly. I think if I did it
Yeah.
every single day, they would get, I'd go through them too quickly, over and over again. But yeah, I just love kind of relaxing and watching those. Kind of weird, kind of quirky, but that's what I like to do.
I like it. It's it's always the simple things,
Oh yeah, and it's
Yeah.
I think it's an important to have some kind of a reset for you when you work in this business, this kind of thing that you're working 7 days a week. I'm working 7 days a
Okay.
week, at least a few hours on the weekend, uh, and each week, kind of can seem like the same. Because you're doing pretty much the same stuff every single week, even if you try to kind of mix it up a little bit. So the weeks can really blend into each other. So I think it's important. Like I have that Friday night ritual where, like yeah, like 9 o'clock, then I'll pour myself a drink and at 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours of watching Twilight Zone really resets me. It really lets me say, okay, you know what, this week is done. Tomorrow starts a new week, right? And I can start that, but it really helps to reset your week. And I mean, I think anybody can use that kind of idea, whether you work as an entrepreneur, solopreneur, or not. But just a way of, yeah, just kind of okay, putting a closure on this week, starting over, and starting fresh the next.
I love it. My thing is, I'll go on like a walk every Sunday, like in the
Okay.
evening.
Yeah.
Yep, that's my thing right there. There's like a lake. I'm in Utah, but I'm by Utah Lake, so I'll just go and I'll just walk along there and just like,
Excellent. Yeah.
yep, just something nice and simple. But
A little bit
yeah,
healthier,
actually,
a little bit healthier than Jack on the Rocks and watching TV, but I like it.
so on my way there, I pick up McDonald's.
Ah, okay. There you go. See, you just ruined
Oh,
it.
good times. Hey, we gotta we gotta enjoy life,
It's 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 balance, right? You,
Yep,
you work off a few calories, you eat a couple more, so that's balance.
that's right. Yep, I love it. But hey, Joseph, yeah, thank you for being guest number 5 on the Finding Your Purpose podcast, and for the people listening or watching this. I'll have all this links down below in the description. This is a YouTube podcast, so everything's going to be down there. But yeah, Joseph, thank you for taking time out of your day to really um, like really share your knowledge just as far as like making money online. And yeah, that's it for this episode. See you guys.